So going further in the Gemara, Amar Rabbi Yochanan Mishum Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, Kashe Tarbut Ra'a Betoch Beito Shel Adam. It's very difficult to have an evil culture. In other words, practices that are not Jewish practices, Betoch Beito Shel Adam, in a person's house. And the rabbi adds a note, this is usually a child who does not grow up well and his education is poor and he causes difficult things to happen in the house. He said this is even more difficult than the war of Gog and Magog. Now how could that be? Raising a difficult child is more difficult than Armageddon? Well, that's an interesting comparison. Well, we have this Tehillim where David ran away from his son Avshalom, which must be a terrible thing to think about, that a father would actually have to run away from his own son. Not only just a father, but any father, but David HaMelech, the king of the country. What a busha that the actual king has to run from his son, the prince. And it's written afterwards about David in his connection to Avshalom, who was obviously he was what you would call attached to the Tarbut Ra, because Avshalom wanted to overthrow his father and take the kingdom from Shlomo. David said, how abundant are my sufferings. Rabim kamim alai, many are standing against me. Who are they? Ilu, if it was Milchemet Gog Magog Ketiv, it's written Lama Rag Shugoyim. Why are the nations excited in war? Gurik, and the nations are contemplating with emptiness their desire to do war. And that their words are empty. What will come out of all this? Ilu marabutzarai lokativ. So you see that the Gemara is comparing the way David spoke about the response of the nations to the Jews, and the other case he's talking about his own personal response to his son. And we see that David spoke about his son about the terrible difficulties having such a son, Avshalom. But he spoke in a language that was stronger than the language that he used to speak about the nations that were getting excited and upset. So that would indicate that it was more difficult for David to have the suffering of his rebellious son than it was to deal with the warring nations around him. Which is an interesting comparison. If you said to a king, what would you rather have, a rebellious son that wants to throw you off the throne, or nations that are trying to shove you into the ocean? If you're a king, most of you would think a king would say, I'd rather deal with my house and let the country be safe. That sounds like the normal response, right? We see that David was suffering more from the rebellion of his son than he was from the nations.
I think most people would think one is internal.
Right.
What hurts? If somebody deceives you, who's your closest friend or a family member, or some random person out there is trying to steal from you. Okay.
That's a good point.
That's where the pain's the most when it's the closest.
Also, there are other people involved, like you say. If you're a king, you've got to think.
And David was an incredible tzaddik.
Right, but it's also, we're talking here about his gut level response to his reality, and not necessarily a calculated one, but gut level. Ma rabut sarai, rabim kamu alai. These are my own children are rising up against me. Whereas by the goyim, it's lama rag shugoyim. What are they excited about now?
And David was also a warrior. He had no problem killing the enemy, but he wouldn't kill his son.
That's true.
He told his generals, don't.
That's a good point. Good point.
So there's an easier solution to external enemy than internal enemy.
Okay. So we're going to get another comparison of David's statements. Mizmor LeDavid, Berachot mipnei Avshalom, that a song from David that when he was running from Avshalom, and we have the Kushya, Mizmor LeDavid, Adonai Ro'i. Miv Shalom. Kina LeDavid Mive'ele. It should have been Kina Lo Mizmor. You see, the Gemara is arguing about the name that the rabbis gave to this Tehillim. Why are they calling it a Mizmor? It's a Kina. It's a lamentation. It's not a happy duty poem about Binos Desha Yarbitzeni. I'll lie down in beautiful places. Amar Rabbi Shun ben Avshalom. Mashal. Well, we have a mashal that'll perhaps help us understand these labels. Lama Devar Domain. What is this similar to? L'adam she'yatza lav shtar ho. Well, like a person who receives a bill that he owes some money or something. Kodem shepara'o. Before he's paid it back. Haya atzeb. Well, he's sad. He has to go pay this bill. But after a man pays his bill, sameach, he's happy. It's done. Finished. Af Cain David. So to David, Kevan Shamar Lo HaKadosh Baruch Hu, since David, God said to David, Hineni Kima Lecha Ra'a Mi Beitecha. Well, God told him in Shmuel, I'm going to set up upon you evil from your own house. And so he was already telling him about the punishment that was going to come to him because of what happened with Bathsheba. That's true. But also because, not just with Bathsheba, but the child that was born after. There were several punishments going on there. It wasn't easy.
But on a higher madrega, it actually had to happen. Because you know who Uriah was? This is one of the craziest stories.
Yeah, what's that?
Okay, Uriah. Right,
Uriah Haiti.
Right, David and Bathsheba were the Gilgulim of Adam and Chava.
Right, but Gilgul means we're talking about sparks. So it doesn't.
But this is
this is
one of the coolest stories you'll hear. Okay, so who was the other major player in Gan Eden?
The Nahar.
Okay, what did the Nachash do to Eve? It was adulterous behavior. Okay, who was the Nachash, the Gilgal, the Nachash here?
Uriah.
And
the Hittites were snake worshippers, and his parents were until this day. The Alawite Empire in Syria, they worship snakes as well. They had snakes dancing when Assad was crowned.
Like Harry Potter.
I don't know about Harry Potter, but nonetheless.
So he had to be adulterous, so to speak.
Well, he had to get his payback, and he got his payback.
But it had to
Uriah got his payback.
But it had to be done through
these two other people, right?
Of adultery.
Nahar. Well, this is a whole Torah from Shar Gilgulim about the story of David and Bathsheba and Uriah Hittite is a replication and tikkun of the story of Adam and Chava and the snake in the garden.
Is that right?
So that takes a bit of time to open up, and we can talk about. But you see the parallels. Each player has to come back and fix what was broken in the garden, right?
So who was David? Adam or HaRishon?
Adam. That's why. How do we know that? Because Adam, we're told, gave David his 70 years. So it was a spark of Adam in David that gave David life, and so he had to play out the drama that first took place, which is what also alluded to by Rabbi Nachman when he says that certain tzaddikim merited to fix the sin of Adam HaRishon. That's what we're talking about over here.
So it's fixed, that's the end of it then?
Well, John, I'm not sure about the end of anything, but
finished.
The main point here is
no more chicken needed.
Something this year that's mind-blowing about Syria when you're